time of year when ministry teams begin ramping up for Vacation Bible School, or VBS as it's often referred to. Now, VBS is unique in that it brings together a whole bunch of new kids that probably don't attend your weekly program for a short period of time. Now, from a child safety standpoint, this can be both a blessing and a curse. But whether you are recruiting new volunteers, preparing budgets, or creating a promotional plan, one fact remains the same. Child safety should be a top priority. A good first step in keeping child safety as a priority is to implement a safety plan that focuses on child protection. This will go a long way in helping you to recruit new families. It'll also create a positive first impression and give families peace of mind that they're leaving their kids somewhere that's safe. This week, I'm going to share with you 6 tips for keeping child safety a top priority in your Vacation Bible School. Tip number 1, create safety goals. Now, these don't have to be difficult or complicated, and you may only need 1 or 2. And often, if you have a current child protection policy, you can pull them from that document. But the purpose of having safety goals is to set a foundation for how you intend to protect the children in your care. It also minimizes the gray area for staff and volunteers in interacting with kids, and it provides a layer of protection. But keep in mind, one thing about safety goals is that they should be defined around decreasing isolation and increasing accountability. Now, examples of this may be utilizing the rule of 2s for bathroom breaks, or ensuring that children are never isolated or alone with an adult. That's the purpose of safety goals, is to make sure that children are protected. Tip number 2, plan ahead. The key to abuse prevention is having a plan that's easily understood, actionable, and communicated often. It's important that your core team of VBS volunteers and staff understand your organization's commitment to child safety and abuse prevention. Each person should know the details of how to report an incident, where the first aid kits are located, who to call in case of an emergency, which children have allergies and their respective reactions. These are all data points that should be communicated before you have to delve into the many details of event planning. But in order to do that, you'll need to have a plan. Tip number 3, choose volunteers wisely. This is very important. A lot of VBS programs are in dire need of volunteers, and it often feels like they'll take just about anyone. But what you want to do is to start recruiting early and focus on a core set of volunteers and staff who complete the full evaluation process, which we often refer to as the comprehensive candidate screening process. And you can find more of that on the KidCheck blog. Just go to kidcheck.com/blog and search under screening, and there'll be several posts that outline it step by step for you. Now, the screening process is really important, and once your core team has completed it, you want to assign them the tasks of evaluating other volunteers that are coming in. Now, this is really helpful because we'll never know if someone is 100% safe, but if you do have someone who comes in with a questionable background, you can go ahead and assign them to an area where they don't have direct access to kids and youth. Tip number 4, secure your facility. It's important that you keep your activities in highly visible areas and make sure to maintain the appropriate child to volunteer ratio for each age group. If your activities are going to be outside, it's important that the kids know where they can and can't go, and in some cases, it's best to rope off the areas where they're not allowed. If you should have questions about the safety of your facility, you can also tap your local resources, such as police and fire. They're willing to come out and do a complimentary safety assessment of your location, and that's helpful for knowing what changes you'll need to make. Tip number 5, track and manage child information. Having a well-thought-out, secure children's check-in and check-out process is equally as important as wisely choosing volunteers. Whether you're using pen and paper or a mobile solution, it is important that each child is only released to those who are authorized to pick them up. In addition to that, you'll want to have a process for managing health information on each child. With the increase in childhood allergies, it's important that volunteers and staff know which children have allergies and their respective reactions. This can go a long way in helping to minimize any incidents. Tip number 6, construct a follow-up plan. In the case of an incident or an emergency, you'll want to have a process outlined to follow up with all involved. Make sure you keep accurate records and incident photos in a secure location. And if a child has been hurt or injured, provide care and contact the family immediately. In the event that police need to get involved for an investigation, provide your full cooperation and in no way hinder that investigation. Well, that includes my tips for this week. If you should need more information, I encourage you to continue to visit the KidCheck blog, kidcheck.com/blog, and search under Vacation Bible School, VBS, or screening, and all the information is right there. Keep in mind, if you're currently a KidCheck customer, you can add an additional temporary license or change editions to take advantage of the many features that are there to help meet the increased needs of Vacation Bible School. For more information, email info@kidcheck.com. Well, that's all I've got for today. I'll see you next time.